Well, people, welcome once again, man. Welcome to another show. Good afternoon, good after morning, good after whatever it is, wherever you're watching us from. And know that it's a lovely day, man. Lovely Saturday. A lot of action took place. Some that you might not be happy about as Jamaicans, but a lot that you might be happy about as well. And with me today, I definitely have man himself, man. Mr. Big Voice. Welcome once again, Big Voice. What going?
Yes, sir. Live and direct. Ready to dissect some performances, of course.
Definitely, man. I mean, a lot of things happen, and I'm sure that you, for one, is happy about it because they made some bold prediction and one has come through so far. And I think, you know what? Should we start off there or should we start off with a big performance? Because there was a big performance by a Jamaican. So Oblique Seville come out and say, hey, I'm going to hold my hand up and I'm going to show that I'm here to run fast and not run any jokes. And came out with a 9.86 personal best in the heats. Absolutely wonderful from him, man. And I was impressed by the run. What say you? Because I know people said that they hate the Jamaican runners, So we're all about objectivity today. So what do you think about the performance by him?
So I'll say good evening to everybody in the comment section. Good afternoon, evening up here. Good evening to everyone who is watching but not commenting. Everybody who will watch this in the future, right? So this is my thing, right? And this is just a personal thing. I'm never a fan of somebody running fast in the heats. I'm just never a fan of somebody running fast in the heats. 9.86 is a little bit too fast for my liking, right? So again, I don't know what the coach's instructions are. I'm not a coach. When Coach Q come on, I'll ask him about it. But I'm never one for somebody running fast. So now I can look on it. I can look on it two sides. One, because I heard at national trials he was hurt. He just wanted to make the team. Yeah, Triple LC, my full Jamaican shirt because of the disappointment. Somebody feels sorry for him. So I take up that mantle. I feel sorry for you guys. So that's how I'm wearing the Jamaican shirt. So no, right? So Levon, when he was hurt for the Jamaican trials, so probably the instructions were, listen, go out there, get a run, let me see how you feel, right? And then you can alter it for the semifinals, right? So again, it was a good run. I think he had Fred Curley as the only real competition in the race. But again, we have seen this story before, running fast in the heats and then in the finals coming up short. Giving the Jamaicans false hope. I remember, last World Championship, they would have beat me, killed me when Mr. Seville now medal. Oh, of course he won medal. Look on this, look on that. And then in the finals, we saw what happened, right? And again, I'm not wishing bad for the kid. I want him to do well. I want everybody to do well. But, I never liked that fast run. And I know you'll talk about the semifinals later. The semifinals that he's in, he's not going to need to run fast in the semifinals, right? So, that semifinals is definitely going to be tough. So he's going to run fast.
Yeah, but we could just leave that now because we just don't want to get that out because next performance we really want to start with now because there are a lot of things that we need to dissect. But before we get into that, we have to big up the people in the comment section, man. I remember, guys, I said join the chat, like up the stream, man. I said Rich for Sports from a long time, Anthony Henry in the comment section, Albert Williams, Damian Cudlin, Triple LC, Cash, and a lot of other people. So big up on yourself in the comment section, man. But mixed relays. That is what I really wanted to start with today. because first and foremost, I think a lot of people are caught up in emotions and a lot of stuff. So they're casting all the blame on one particular guy, in which, if we're being honest, he wasn't the worst on the team, but that's how it goes a lot of times. But we look at this, right? And first and foremost, you're having a mixed relate. We spoke about it at length the other night that we said that a lot of these people they are filled with egos, so a lot of them don't want to run the mixed relays for whatever reason, as if it's not a medal that they're going to earn. Look at we saw a big Femke ball of all people, who is favored to win the 400-meter hurdles, came out and ran the heats for Netherlands. So you said it the other night that they're not going to qualify, and here it was, they didn't.
Seal. Seal. Yes, sir. Listen.
So yeah, man, go ahead.
No. All right. Not. I honestly, I don't even know where to start. To be honest, right? Because again, when people feel like say when we talk about Jamaicans, my bias. When we talk about Jamaicans, I hate Jamaicans. I forget where I come from. Take out the Jamaican card. But again, history always repeats itself, and I'm a person of trends. I look at trends, I look what happened, and then my base my prediction of that, right? So in 2019, Jamaica won a silver medal in this same event, right? And then after that, it was seventh place and then fifth place, right? So then now I'm looking at it. Remember, I talk about 3 minutes 19, and in terms of say high school people run that and all that thing. And I'm thinking, and I'm looking at the list, and I say, okay, based off what Lee Ford Green, former Jamaican representative, tell me that the big shots them don't want to run this event. They take this event as a curry goat event. All right. So when they tell me that, let me look who is not the big shots. Right. Obviously, I was surprised by Natalia Gould. I had no idea Natalia Gould was even going to run this race. I don't know what the selectors were thinking. So I'm not going to place the blame on the runners themselves, but more on the selectors. Right. What were you thinking? Why you put a Natalia Gould? I remember Akil came on here and said she just not fast. She just not fast, she just not quick, she don't have no speed. She have endurance, but just no speed. And I know some Jamaicans in the comment section they're going to tell us about she was impeded. Listen, if you watch races, if you watch them kind of races, if you know assertive, that one to Natalia Gould are happen to you. They might go push you out and you're going to at the back and you can't go come back. Right? So again, I said the Czech Republic could have beat them. A man say I'm going to eat fish on the live TV. On the live TV, if that go on, so I'm waiting to see the fish and everything. Come forward. However, I think in all seriousness though, because may I try to be objective in them party. I believe once again Jamaica has blown a great opportunity. Right? When you start in the championships like this, you want to start the championships with a particular vibe. At least make it to the final and then see what happens. Anything can happen there. So Stacey and Williams, proud of her, she ran well. Obviously, Demish Gay, I think he split the third fastest time, 44 something. So he did well. But that 53 by
44, 49.
44-49. Excellent time. Improvement on his 46 something that he split last year. So again, when we look at Natalia Gould, that was just the only person, who 53 seconds was never cut it. So again, looking at the Jamaican team, they just weren't good enough. But again, all the blame I'll put on the selector's shoulders. You can't select a team like that and then, cross your fingers, cross your toes that they're going to make it to the final. From I see that team, I started smiling and licking my chops. Because I know that was it. I know there was no chance they were making the final after that. Valiant effort by Stacey and Williams, but just not good enough.
All right, and I'm glad that you went there now because as it's shown on the screen, right? I'm not sure if you guys are seeing clearly. I was trying to zoom in on it a bit more, but it's not pulling up more. But Demishki, as you stated, he split third on his leg, and I woke up and I was scrolling through social media, right? And I saw everybody be like, from I saw them, I know that this team was going to lose. I was like, but this guy split the third fastest time, so what are you on about? When I look at the second leg, and even Malik James King on the third leg, both of those legs were the reason why Jamaica actually lost because James King finished last on his leg as well. So I was there and I was thinking, hey, why
Well,
blame Demishke? I mean, personally, I'm not a fan of Demishke at
well,
all. I'm not.
so what I'll say about that, Levon, and obviously I'll give the other gentlemen, some talk time as well before the finals should come up. But what I'll say about Malik James, and this is just my input watching the race. The position when Natalia go leave him in, there is very little.
He
Remember,
couldn't do
Malik
anything.
James is a young youth. Remember, he's a young youth. Not too long ago, left
Well, true.
Calabar and
Couldn't
now
do
come
that at all.
through. Yeah, so there is very little that he could have done to impact the race. Now, if he had got the button, let's say third or second, probably we could have beat him. But giving him the button in last place and then expect him to turn water into wine, I think that's a big ask of a young man who is still finding himself and getting into stride.
True.
So I wouldn't put too much blame on him. As I said before, the selectors is the one who I'm looking at. Who Natalia will have secret for what is going on over there because as I was talking to Coach Q, privately, and he was saying to me, which 400 Natalia Gould run that convinced these selectors that she's qualified enough to be in this race with these people, and obviously the race start now. So if you don't want to talk, I wait till the race done. You're mute, Vinny. I think you're mute.
Yeah, sorry.
Come
Sorry,
on,
bro.
Vinny.
I was saying it. I was saying, Kems, is it the selectors or is it that our athletes don't we hear Leaford Green the other night talk about it? Is it that our athletes are not interested? Oh, him gone down to Budapest.
Hold on, Vinny.
Direct man, we see, yeah man, we see you down to Budapest. Netherlands going to get you, bro.
Man, that
Netherlands
Budapest,
going to
man.
get. Yeah, me see, man. Come in,
Yeah, man.
Netherlands.
Especially when Femke Panda last leg, them, and Femke got
Fenke
used to it,
Pandala,
man.
yeah, Fenke. We just need Fenke to get it right there with
Yeah.
them.
It can be a showdown between Frank and Gabby Thomas and that Uncle.
Come on,
Gabby,
No, Gabby Thomas is
Gabby,
not on the team.
Who the girl?
Oh, she
Only.
didn't make her. She stated that she'll be running on the mixed relay.
Gabby would have dead.
They threw her under the
Kems,
bus.
which
She's
400
not
you
on the
that?
team. I brought a ball in. 100, he's 100 and 200 meter sprinter,
Come up, Netherlands.
Netherlands will win this easily.
Come up, Netherlands.
Yeah, man, we need a good
Netherlands
lead,
will win
man.
this easily.
Hey, the college girl up on the ankle leg, be careful. Think about Mike can't catch her.
I think I know it's a head.
First of all, Femke split 48 on that last leg then. 48-49. World record I got tonight.
Come up, Fenke.
And so Femke runs so easy.
Hey, oh God, look how Fenke run easy, man. A USA girl, I come though. They say I close. Jesus! No, Fenke drop. USA.
Femke drop. World record.
Yeah, USA.
Ah, Jesus, Femke.
Jaja.
Yeah. Was this the same thing like the 10,000 meter? Was it the same?
Femke was too easy. No. Right.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the difference, Vinny. Femke was too easy and trying to pick up speed.
To pick up speed.
So that was the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just trying to extend speed right there. That's the reason.
Yeah, because she should have picked up her pace at that 100, 150 meter coming down. You understand? And she was just still going easy, right
Coach
down to
Q,
about
Coach
right
Q,
down.
repeat after me. Track and field, no play on nobody yard.
It is there. It is there.
First Coleman, well, on the track, on the big track with the big events. One record.
I have a question.
Shoot a shot, man. I feel it. I need to hold up your hand, brother. Shoot a shot.
Yeah, man. I want to have a
But
better. I want to
Hey,
understand something very clear. So,
congratulations,
is it
Kems.
a case?
Kems.
hey, Akil, before you talk, you say congratulations and then you talk.
Congratulations, Kems.
Kems 1, Jamaica 0. So we give you your 1 today, sir. You're there.
Watch it. On the second Netherlands come, button drop.
Yeah, she dropped.
Last year they must get disqualified. No, let me tell you something. Come in USA, I tell you, watch out for this college girl. I'm a joke team. Show a fight. Thank you, Ball. Want to take the people them 400 for joke team. One record.
Oh snap! Yikes! Upon her face, she land upon, you know.
Sure, I got them for you there.
No, she can't get a medal because she don't have the button. Like she crossed it.
Yeah, the button gone.
Yeah,
the
button gone.
fully.
So she not get the third. She not get third. I will say exactly what happened.
Big run, Matthew Bowling. Take off the slow port there after the relay who started last time with him 46. Great execution, USA.
Whoa, she hit her face, you know?
Hey, gentlemen.
Yeah, she hit her face.
Vinny, why are we not talking about the winners? The first place.
You did well, sir. That was a great run by that girl. You said on the last leg. I will know you guys have the 400 meter. Them runners, both male and female, just spitting out. You know. It was a good run that she make, and you see, we always talk about this. What we talk about the biggest thing in any sport: pressure. Dealing with pressure. You understand? So you see, you always look good and nice and clean and calm and pretty, you know. But when you're placed under pressure, what do? You understand? And you see, American girl draw side her, misstep, that's it. Not even a medal for Netherlands. You understand? And it's the ability to deal with pressure. So we see it again.
And gentlemen, in all seriousness, you know, every time I watch a sporting event, I always try to take a life lesson out of it. Always. Right? And, you know, looking at this, I could guarantee you, think about getting the button in first, you have $1 million, you take that $1 million to the bank. And I said, there's no way Netherlands will lose this race. You know? But again, that's why these races are run. You know? That's why the races are run. And, you know, again, track and field, not live on a body yard.
No, it doesn't.
And rightfully said, it's if that was the case, we just start issuing gold medals before the championships.
Yeah, understand.
So it's this is a part of it, is being able to do what you've always been doing and show the form that you've been displaying on the day that it matters.
Correct.
Which is why a lot of top athletes get such harsh criticism when they fail to show at the championships. Like one key person that come to mind naturally would be Asafo.
Correct.
You can be world record holder, however, how many times you can run sub 10, how many times, but can you deliver on the day.
Correct. Correct.
This is very USA has always had teams that know
That
what to do about.
correct.
Except for the faults in many of the 4x1s, especially on the men's side. But especially when it comes to 4x4s,
Yeah. They
they
are.
don't disappoint.
You
They
know,
don't.
They
you,
don't disappoint.
Vinny,
Mhm.
another sport or more kind of draw comparison from. You
Mhm.
ever in a basketball or
Yeah.
even in a football,
Mhm.
when a team is way better than you,
Mhm.
what's one message what the coach always say? Just
Stay
stick
close.
around. Stick
Stay
around.
close. Yeah, yeah,
Stick
man. Stay
around. You
close.
just want to be in
Stay
the
close.
vicinity. Eight,
Yeah, stay
80,
close.
in a football, the
Mm.
88, 89 minutes, any team can
Yeah,
win.
yeah.
In a
Stay close.
basketball, fourth quarter, 1 minute
Yeah,
left,
that last two
you just want
minutes,
to beat it.
stay close.
You
Yeah,
understand me?
stay close.
And this is
because Kems, it comes down to pressure situation. And sometimes I would see on online, on class page and some of those page when people talking about basketball as we draw on that. And the last 2 minutes of the game, and you see some person saying foolishness. People make it look like the last 2 minutes of the game, not the same 2 point as the first 2 minutes of the game. It doesn't make sense. You see when we see them things, we just pass and ignore it because it simply means that you really don't understand pressure situation. Taking a shot at 2 minutes in the beginning of the game is a different thing from taking a shot with 30-second leave and your team down by one. You
yep.
understand? Pressure. You understand?
Because
Mm.
look at this.
And
I
that's
believe
why in those situations, for
Mm-hmm.
example, you have
Mm-hmm.
a key person that
Correct.
will be
Mm.
the person because that person,
Right.
whether
Mm.
succeed or fail, but they'll
Mm-hmm.
be always willing to give it a
Mm-hmm.
shot.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm telling you, like Femke Ball literally run probably the same way how she ran the heats. Easy
Right.
like Sunday morning,
Mm-hmm.
cruising. Now it doesn't look like she's exerting a
Mm-hmm.
lot of energy, but just using her momentum to bring her around. But again,
Mm-hmm.
Keep in
the
mind
American.
that
And keep
that
in
could be a
mind,
deliberate strategy because she
right,
has
she
four
running the
hurdles
400
tomorrow.
hurdles.
Well, not
Right.
tomorrow. The day after. Yeah, but
That's what
still,
I
that
was
could have
thinking,
been
Coach Q.
the reason not to too exert or have a get out blast.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
is to say, all right, I just need to run
Mm-hmm.
within this range
No,
and
no, no,
Mm-hmm.
no.
try to stay true to it.
No, we're not. We're saying it
Make no
could be in a
mistake.
Kems.
Holmes was running.
You understand? Because if
No,
you
we're not
watch back
saying
the
Holmes
race,
wasn't running in her. Holmes was
no,
running.
Holmes,
Just that
right.
ball
It
just didn't look like she was gunning.
Yeah.
right.
Like she
As
wasn't
Kim
leaving
said,
everything on the top.
Holmes
as
actually
Kim,
split. Holmes
now
split.
as Kems was
Holmes
saying that
actually
if you
split
watch,
48.
mm-hmm,
And
48 too much.
exactly, yeah,
I was saying that Holmes split. You guys
yeah, she
hearing me?
split 48.
Aki,
Yeah, she split 48, and that's exactly why Ball faltered. So it has nothing to do. We're not saying
okay.
Holmes was a deficit.
No,
We're
no,
saying
no.
Ball just
Did
won, never,
not put anybody under
probably
pressure.
didn't give enough. How we call it now? Respect to the competitor that she went up against.
Correct, correct. As Kem said, she was trying to run the same pace that she did in the qualifying in the finals. And I mean, we could theorize that she have the 400-meter hurdle. As much as she's trying to get the goal, she also trying to conserve because that is really her pet event. That is where she going big guns. You understand? And I
And
mean,
this is
I look at the fall, and she really look like she hit her face. I don't even know how that will further impact her going forward, but it's gonna be interesting. But the truth is, you get into a race, you're in the race, you have to just run. I've always heard them say it, and they will say it, Kems, you remember sometimes you listen to some of the football players, NFL players, they'll say, sometimes when you get injured is when you go at half pace or half mass. You tend to find yourself getting injured.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. Uh,
Mhm.
Coach Q, some mama didn't want to really ask you.
No, man, I have
We
a
never really.
question. I have a question.
My bad.
I have a
My bad.
question. I same Coach Kim want to ask you now. I want to
Sure, go
ask
ahead.
what stops the alternates for the 400 and the 400-meter hurdles from running in the mixed relay? Because I can't understand that. Why is it you have to have a
That
separate team for the mixed relay and a separate team for the 4x4?
I think that would be down to the preference of the federation or associations. I think because you actually select who you put into the pool, for the relay pool. So you would, it's not, World Athletics doesn't dictate how you select the relay pool. It is up to the association. So
Okay.
I think, whether who they choose, which is why, as when I came on, as Kem said, with certain things you hold the selecting committee accountable for. But as far as my knowledge is, I think, each association has the power to, identify who they want based on what the form that they've seen. Because I think even on the Jamaica team, I think I'm pretty sure all the 8 men for the 100-meter finals are at Budapest. And, as a means of being part of the relay pool or whatever. So there really isn't any that as far as that I know, there isn't any guidelines as to who you have to or don't have to.
Okay.
It's up to the selecting committee.
Yeah, I think the only change that they made for the relay is only you can only make one change now. That's the only change that they did. Like in the 4x4 mix, you can only make one change regardless of gender. So I know before you could have changed out multiple people.
For
So that's why they put in Matthew Bowling for that Demish gay like
Mm.
first leg for the USA because with him it would have been big trouble because he's
No,
still
no, man, no, man. As something happened to him, man. Willie a fast youth. As
yeah,
yeah,
something
they
happened
but
to him.
just was not there on the day. Just like how we've
It
seen,
wasn't there on the
we
day.
saw what happened on the hundreds. Just
Something there.
not there, not present
Yes.
on the day. So
yeah.
Something happened, man.
it's an off day, not that it's a off
Yeah, one off day.
spanning, a off spanning life like set of things.
Yeah.
So Levon, before you move on, I wanted to ask Coach Q this, right? So I want you explain something to us, right? Because I don't know if you explained it last year. You probably forget because we swat them thing, yeah? Probably forget. We more know again. So the whereabouts violation thing, right? Because we see people like Toby, she get cleared. However, when it was Christian Coleman, he appealed, wasn't cleared. So can you explain exactly like what is it like? How like what's the timeline that they have to give? Is it that they just show up at any point in time? Like how it really work?
So you have they have a series of tests that you do. So once you're a professional athlete, you fall in and you have to fill out a form, pretty much that shows what your whereabouts will be. And they don't tell you exactly what day, but they'll say on on Mondays to Saturdays, I'll be at this location between these hours. Fine. So once they come, if you are leaving, and I think with Christian Coleman, the issue was he left the location. They came and he wasn't there. And then, the case of getting him, he didn't, I guess it probably might have happened a couple of times. So once you aren't there, you'll be deemed as possibly trying to evade the being tested or the officials. So I think the case with Amazon is just like I think it came down to semantics that ideally it wasn't three wearable violations in the year. Apparently, one might have overlapped a previous or whatever. So she had evidence on her end to prove otherwise. But ideally, what it is, if you have to, within the form that you fill out, you identify, you're telling them I'll be at this location between this particular time for such time. And if you are not at that particular point or any point you have to leave, you have to give them dire notice.
So is it for the whole year, like for the whole
Yeah, I
track
have a
season?
Yeah, it's for once you're moving. So if you once you if so like for example, I'm in Jamaica now and I'm going to Europe and things. Once I've established my location in Europe, I will then need to inform them that hey, I'm leaving Jamaica. I'm going to um to let's say Zurich for this period of XYZ. I'll be staying at such and such hotel. I'll be training at such and such venue. So you really have to give full details as to, all of
And
those things.
I have a follow-up question. And is it 3 times for the year, or it has to be 3 back to back?
I think it's three. Not 100% sure, but I think it's 3 times for within the years. If once you have a violation, you will be sent by communicated to regard by email or phone call or whatever, and stating that you have breached such and such and such, and be guiding you along ways like to avoid further implications and stuff. Please provide with XYZ stuff and stuff. I know it's just following the steps to ensure that you don't go into further. So it's just like, all right, I'm gonna see them today, and you sit down and just wait for them and say, all right, I'll go tomorrow and see them type of thing.
All right.
Thanks for clarifying that. Sorry, because
Yeah.
all this time I thought it was 3 back to back mistakes.
Yes,
That
I think for
It's within a certain period,
within
man.
a certain period. It was
Yeah,
within
it's
a
within
certain
a.
period. So it's not. It might. Keep in mind, the 3 back to back might be 3 months
Yeah.
over a 3 month span. You get me? So it might not have been like they not have test today and then test tomorrow and not doing it. So what they'll actually do sometimes is they don't see you here at this particular time. They contact you and leave a note. And I think that's a practice. And they leave a note that we X and Y came, whatever. You weren't present. Please reach out and contact to provide further info.
So then the last one on this, Coach Q. So let's say, because Coleman said he was at the mall. That's surprisingly he's always at the mall, right? But let's say no, you miss 2 tests, and then you tell them, say, okay, Monday to Saturday, 8 to 5, I'll be at home. But then 3 o'clock now, he decides you need to run to the mall to get a sneakers. Is it possible you could send a text, hey, if you guys decide to come today,
I think when they reach out, you can literally. I think there's been a situation in the past where that happens. Person not at the venue, and they were like, "Listen, I am too many." Are they giving like a time window? Can you get here X time? And then you provide. So it's not so hard and fast and stuff because they want to ensure that you get tested. So they want to test you. So they put means and measures to ensure for you to facilitate them.
Okay. So then the next one now is about Chris Taylor, because his own wasn't whereabouts. His own was stated as evading.
Yeah.
Right? So now, how does it work now because, and again, them say at Jamaica, if it no goes up, it nearly goes up. Right? So something along this. But I don't know if you know really the full facts or what you can really disclose.
I don't know the full details. What I'll do tell you is that with evading, the accusation of evading will basically mean that we reached out, you confirmed, or we are in, we call it, proximity of each other. You see me, I see you, and then you just opted not to engage in the whole testing operation.
All right. So it was said that. So I'll tell you what was said, and we can kind of like mix it wrong. So it was said that they book him up at the airport, right? And him say, all right, him can't get a sample, and then quote unquote, they must give him the leeway and say, yeah man, when you reach a foreign, because he was going on a flight. When you reach a foreign, they can give them a sample up there, right? That's what was said, right? So I am saying, somebody as an established athlete
Add this to it, Kems. Just add this to it, because I think the full statement that was said was they call him same at airport, they went to airport, they were there about 2 hours and him couldn't provide a sample, and then him say him have to catch the flight because it's a leave.
Yeah.
Right, so that is a statement that I saw.
And then them say, okay, it was from Chris Taylor's, allegedly, it was from Chris Taylor's understanding that he can give the sample when he went abroad. But I'm saying, for somebody as a professional athlete who, you always talk about your handlers, who have smart handlers around him, wouldn't they be able to advise him otherwise, hey, if you have to miss the flight, you miss the flight, boss. Especially in a championship year.
Uh, Person, that would be my handle. I was like, listen, if you have a test, first of all, if you're going to schedule your flight, I'll schedule it outside of the time window that I have
Correct.
presented. Right. So you have to a lot of the responsibilities on you, the athlete.
Mhm, mhm,
So unless otherwise other unforeseen issues or circumstances you can't, then again, communication is key.
mhm,
So once they have an open dialogue with the testing agency, then I think it would not be in this situation that we're facing right now. Not detecting in terms of it could be a case of just difficulty providing the sample that was needed, and you know it might have seemed like a good judgment to be like, okay, well, I can arrange and have it done up there. But they have to keep in mind of what are you going to do within this time here to that time there to rid yourself of whatever contaminants that you might have in your body that you're trying to cover up. So all of this is put in place to reduce the possibility, not accusing the person of, but the possibility of an athlete um, making adjustments or taking in whatever masking agents or whatever. So that's why you have that window of opportunity as you present to them, and which is why the test seem random.
Okay.
the bottom line is this, and me hear Usain Bolt talk about it, and him say, listen, me, them test me hundreds of times here, there, and there, and him say him just understand one thing. It come with the sport. It
And that
come
is
with is a part of the responsibility you have. It's like you have your job and you must reach at 8:30. You leave for lunch, you get 1 hour. You understand? It just comes with the sport, and it is a sport that is providing you your bread and butter. So if it comes
understand
with
the
the
rules.
sport, this is your bread and butter. Then just as Coach K said, you your handlers ensure your
Coach
flight.
Case? Who name Coach
Me, Coach Q. Too much basketball in me. Sorry, Coach Q. You understand? Just work with it. Just set your flight outside of that. Miss your flight. You understand?
Yeah,
Because
and
me
I think
sure know.
at that point, what is more important? Because I
Right.
don't think he was flying to a meet. I don't think,
Right.
it's
You
just a matter
understand?
of,
So
all right, let me adjust the flight, miss the flight, and
yeah,
find the next available flight until this get done. So
yeah.
it's not, and I think athletes tend to look at it as an inconvenience to them,
Mm,
right? But it's a part of,
right.
your job,
Part of
it's a
your
part of
job.
your routine. Yeah,
Part of your job.
Well,
yeah.
I know at the stadium, I remember Vinny. Remember at the stadium when
Yeah.
these athletes were running very fast. These
Uh-huh.
doping control people now leave them at inch.
No.
Not one
It's
inch.
like a
Yeah,
gloves.
and and that is it. What, especially at a meet or a championship,
Mm.
they literally once
Once it.
they literally reach out to you at the post
Mhm.
race and said, "Hey, whatever, I'm here to get a sample from you, whatever." When you're ready, say you're free to do anything you need to do. If you need to go cool down, their interviews, get a massage, they're waiting,
Yep.
and they're not leaving your side.
No.
They'll be observing you to see exactly what you're doing, where you're going, so they
Mhm.
need to be present.
Brother, but see, so not all your goal, right? Not all your goal was at the stadium and compete and so. And she come and she talk to Andrew Holness and she hug up Babsy and the doping control lady just there right there, so I'm just waiting.
Not
She's just
moving
waiting.
and not leaving
Yeah.
at an edge. Yeah, because
Yeah.
again, it's a part of their it's a part of the if there's any discrepancy, then they'll have to give an account.
Yeah.
I agree with Iron Man right here, so you know. I think if Chris Taylor
Yeah,
was
man.
there, it would have been
Ironman saying that
Kicking
Taylor
himself.
must be kicking himself based on how good our 100 meter runners look. I think if we had Chris, goal would be very possible.
yeah, especially with no Michael Norman, and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of stepping out, and again, you go back to what Coach Q was saying, you kind of weigh what's more important. Me catch a 1 hour flight, 1 hour and 30 minutes flight, or being banned for 2 years with no reputation of someone evading a drug test. Really.
And these
Uh,
things affect
I
your contracts.
yep.
yeah.
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 Contracts, your sponsorships, come on.
Everything.
You know,
Yeah, everything. You,
You,
mi-
you
you
want to
miss a
just like you.
you miss a $400 flight over coming third at the world champs and getting what about 20,000 or something like that. You understand?
Yeah,
Those
and then
little, those
lose
little, yeah, and then you
and
lose
lose
your
and lose
sponsorship.
10,
You
20,000 off
yeah,
his sponsorship.
yeah, yeah,
Not,
ridiculous
not
man.
worth it. So, and we find that happen a lot to younger athletes. Because, Coleman, when he was like 21, 22, was the same
Mm,
issue. So it's and I always tell my child is once you go into that realm is to understand and know the rules. All that is requested and required of you from the governing body, along with all that is requested and required of you from your contract, your sponsors, so that you can ensure that you stay within in accordance to both to ensure that your livelihood is not at risk.
absolutely. Uh, Levan, think, I don't know if you want segue.
Yeah, so men's triple jump. So the 12 into tomorrow. I believe tomorrow is the finals. I
it's
stand corrected,
tomorrow or
but I
Monday.
believe
No,
It's
it'll be
Monday.
Monday. It's Monday. It's Monday.
Monday. I think it's Monday.
okay. So the 12 into the finals. As read Chris Bernard from USA 16.71. The guy from Venezuela, that's Leodan, 16.72. Will Clay, 16.72. Thiago Pereira from Portugal, 16.77. Fang from China, 16.83. Emmanuel from Italy, 16.91. Yassir from Algeria, 16.95. Christian from Cuba, 16.95. Zango, one of the favorites for the gold medal, 17.12. Lazaro from Cuba, 17.12. Zhu from China, 17.14. And way out front, Mr. Jaden himself, 17.70. And he looked damn good. I mean, his first jump, he jumped what, 16.99?
16. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would have had him at what?
First,
About
Fourth.
about third, fourth, third, yeah, fourth,
That
fourth.
would have had him at fourth,
Number
but he
four.
didn't have to jump again to qualify. So he looks good, honestly. He does looks good. So
Mhm.
yeah, I really like what I saw from him. Any comments from you guys?
And somebody pointed out in a group to me that the only 3 or 4 men has jumped over 1770,
Right.
and he
One is
brought
out.
the 1786 as a thing, and the other one is out. So
Mhm.
he's really just punching in terms of consistency and dominance in the event.
Right.
So I'm and at his age, boy, and we spoke about pressure.
Mm.
And I'm happy that he had his defeat at the Diamond League
A
because
Diamond League. Hmm.
the lesson that
Love
he
it.
garnered there, I
Hmm.
think solidified his I think his mental preparation as far as going into the World Championships and understanding what the senior competition is like. But extraordinary young man. I think he has so much further to go and so much more to give. Just
Hmm.
spirit that he stays healthy and just
uh,
keeps on that trajectory.
Yeah.
and to
I am positive that he's going to medal, barring, and I would even want to say, but he's going to medal. It's just a matter of whether it is the silver or the gold. Because of the consistency that he does it, you know that he's going to medal. And I'll only say in terms of what Coach Q say is when you look at his age, when you look at the fact that I believe that it is after the Jamaica trials, I was seeing a young lady doing an analysis and started to break down because he used to run off a shorter run up, both as a young athlete and when he was doing NCAA. I think he has gone to the longer run up now, which he has just started. So he hasn't even fully perfected that yet. You
Still like the young
wow.
man.
Wow. That's all I can say. Wow.
so the thing that most impressive to me, and again, I'm going to steal Coach keyword here,
Hmm.
is handlers, right? Again, I was at the Jamaican trials, and his coach from college was there with him, and after every jump, they're talking, and I know that happened with other athletes, but
Hmm.
again, the coach athlete relationship is something that's extremely important, and it's not like he's in coach, it's like he's in bridging. they have such a great relationship, such a great connection, to the point where even hear the coach talking patois. And I'm talking Caucasian man, talking patois. God am my youth, things like that. It brings you to a place of comfort as an athlete for your coach to want to embrace your kind of culture. And then, I say it all the time. He went to Vaz, obviously the greatest prep school ever, right? So he went to Vaz. Again, no shade against anybody who got primary or other schools, but I think there's just some values where you learn at Vars where it's just extraordinary, right? But he went to Vars, obviously he went to Kingston College after. But the humility, listen, it's easy for this man to just go out there and start beat up his chest. Very calm young man. That man talk to everybody, anybody. Always dancing, always in a good
And
mood.
guess what as well, Kim? So I want to add to what you're saying. He's
Cook.
someone that is enjoying what he's doing. You realize that
Yep.
almost after every jump, you can see a smile on his face, and it's like,
Yep.
yes,
Yep. Absolutely. That man, sometimes as an athlete, when you have the interview here, there, kind of exhausted, the man willing for any interview. And again, the young man is also smart, very intelligent. When you hear the man talk, because they ask him a question, hey, if you weren't doing triple jump, what would you do? And him say, I would have been, and I'm paraphrasing, because I don't really remember exactly, but I would have been some scholar somewhere doing some. So he's a very intelligent young man.
I think he has a passion in cooking.
Yep. Yep. So, I have a little bit of dance move, so can work on it a little bit. But so really, just to see, Jamaica in, as although people think I like the country for some reason, but to see Jamaica in the space, in the triple jump, have a young man of this caliber competing for a gold medal, really, really, really nice to see.
yep. And here's Ariman also saying that very humble youth, like you said, coach. The coach has coached a lot of Jamaicans before him, so he has the patois lock.
Yeah, he's very versed as far as coaching Jamaica. So I think it's a natural and it would be a comfortable environment for him.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Sending athletes away to college, that's something that you normally kind of look at in terms of what's the exposure of the
Yep.
coach or the school to Jamaicans and even Jamaican athletes. Because, you know, once they are uncomfortable, then when you're not going to learn much, you're not
Yep.
going to really, you're just going to be uncomfortable and, you'll be
Yep.
distracted. So,
Yep.
he's very good at making them, feel at home.
Yep. And what I was about to say, Coach Q, and you can tell me again. I believe the sports thing, obviously, you have to have a talent, but again, it's always where you fall and who you fall to. Whose hands are you in, right? Because again, if Jaden did this, I say, well, let me go out. I mean, obviously, I think he's a generational talent. But if him say, oh, let me go out at UTech, I don't know if you get the same Jaden. Probably not. I don't know, right? But I think where you go, who is coaching you, I think it goes a long way, right?
And
Because
you keep in mind, just like, I think as much as I think Mills is and Furno are extraordinary coaches, not every athlete will benefit from their tutelage based on
yep,
your own nuances and stuff.
yep,
So that it's finding the mesh that works for you as far as your
yep,
personality, training style, and
yep,
what you need. And
yep,
that's a key thing, especially if you're looking to transition and you'll find oftentimes, and we've seen it how often where athletes leave coaches, jump
yep,
go somewhere else just because they have have more of a household name or more
yep,
elite, and then the matriculation is not happening,
yep,
in the manner that they want. So it's something that you have to be very mindful of, and just to kind of, as I mentioned, Elaine's transition to Coach Osborne, it's familiarity, and it's coming from environment that they both were in, where she was an assistant coach thing there. So it will be an okay transition to experiment with even.
yeah. All right, Levon, take it home.
Mm.
All right, so before you guys came on, Kim and I spoke a bit about Oblique in the 100 meter. well, we just started as a precursor in regards to whatever else we spoke about. But I want Vinny, Coach Q, and
Mhm.
Akil's view on the run that he made because it was pretty impressive for me. I mean, he came from behind and he was cruising 9.86. Didn't really thought he was going that fast, but 9.86 PB, good run.
Yeah, it was a good run by him. And as you say, he looked easy. 9.86 PB in the heats. We just hope that he is managing the rounds well. I'm going to give Coach Mills some kudos. Even though persistence is forever and Bolt was this generational talent that he coached. I believe Coach Mills is a very, very good coach. There are many persons that he has coached and many things that he has done. He looks well. I remember Coach Q had said to us a couple nights ago that he wasn't so well. He had about what, a week or 2 weeks coming into nationals, and he said that right after he has begun to get back on track, and he seems to be on track. And with that 9.86 looking quite confident, quite smooth going through. I am hoping that tomorrow it is a build on and not a up and come back down. How he looks like he can medal. As to whether that will carry through, I guess we will see. Because we do know sometimes rounds is a big thing.
Vinny. Hold on,
Yes.
man. Don't jump the gun. Remember, say me I got
No
you.
man, I
Me I
not,
got
no
you
man,
this
yeah
week.
man, yeah man, we're gonna go through. I was just saying how him look, right? So we just hope that it was a bolt when we see him doing him thing back in 2008. We I said, wow, the man look phenomenal. But we just hope. That for me, it's a great hope I am having going into tomorrow. That's all I'll leave it at that.
I can go.
Sure.
So couple of things that I observed from that heat. One, Oblique did not look sideways. He kept his eyes forward, and I think what that suggests to me is that he respects Fred Curley. That's one. Two, no, because as in
Hold on.
that.
So he doesn't. Hold on. So he doesn't respect Akeem Blake and those persons. Just curious.
Remember, if he doesn't respect
You.
Akeem Blake and so forth,
I'm
when you
asking because.
no, all right,
So you
let
said.
me.
Hold on, Akeem. So you said
Mhm.
he didn't look. He didn't look to the side, which
He looked
shows
to the
that he
side.
respect Fred
He
Curley.
respects Fred Curley.
So I'm
Yes.
asking, when he does look to the side against Akeem Blake and others, does he not respect them?
No, because I think he can beat them. I'm very confident saying he can beat them.
So he doesn't
That's
respect.
not the case. That's not the case with Fred Curley. I'm not saying that it's when in terms of respect. What I mean respect. I'm not talking in terms of him a dismiss other man them like Akeem and so forth.
Okay.
That's not what I mean. What I mean by him respecting Fred Curley, it means that he in his mind he's like, okay, this is a gentleman in the race. We can genuinely beat him at his best. So that is why I said that I noticed that he kept his eyes forward. Now, as it relates to him possibly running slower, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen because he's gonna have Fred again in the semifinals, right? So in fact, I think the trajectory is actually gonna be he's actually gonna drop his time down and not necessarily run fast in the heats and then you know come in the semifinals and
What
top
made
to the
what
seal
make you think? What makes you think that?
because he has Fred in his semifinal heat again.
Okay. And Fred ran 9.9. What's the nine?
Fred is the world champion.
997.
Now he
Nine.
ran 997. Fred is
Okay.
the world champion. Fred is the one who has come on when he's doing his press conferences. He's the one who says that the title is mine and he intends to defend it at all costs and so forth.
How many sub 9.9 has Fred Curley run all season? Just curious. I'm asking questions. Curious.
Sub 9.9, he was only run sub 9.9 once, and that was in Japan. But
Okay.
what I'm trying to say is that there's just the mental edge the mental edge of just having the world champion in the same heat as you. you beat him in the first round, and possibly in the second round, you know that he's going to step it up a notch. So that means you know that you have to step it up a notch to beat him again, right?
Mm.
So that's why I think that. So those are some of the things I was looking at. When I look at Oblique Seville race, I'm not going to see that he jogged 986. I'm not going to say that. But at the same time as well, based on that run, it means I think he has great scope of improvement. Based on his start, he never started well, right? He never started well. His drive phase could have been much better, but you saw where his top end prevailed in that race. And I think that with greater confidence, I think he will have better race execution. And I think right now Oblique is the man to beat in the 100 meters.
What?
Yes, he is. I think he's the man to beat because I think he's the only one, based on what I saw in the rounds, is able to improve his time in the heat to a point where he can possibly run like a 979 or 981. And I think that
let,
would be good enough for him to win the final.
Oh, hold on,
let me
Devini.
just
Hold on 1 second, Devini. Hold on.
mhm.
Hmm.
Akil, do you remember? Because
Yes.
sometimes you seem to have selective amnesia. Do you remember last year, this time, you basically stated the same exact thing? But you state this time, you stated the same exact thing a year ago when he ran when he run fast in the heats. You tell me, say, the gold medal is his, and then somebody will come, I think you said, remember when you said will come second, and then Bramwell will come third, or whatever the case may
Hmm.
be. This is the same exact thing what you said last year. So you're coming back this year with the same exact analysis.
Okay. So, what I will say in comparison to last year's race, if you look at last year's race, one, he had a poor start, and that poor start came down to inexperience and nerves, right? He has that experience of being in a World Championship final and World Championship final. So this year he is in a better position to not only just medal but to win the title in comparison to last year, right? Last year when he was running the heat, he ran 990, 993 and 994, and he was basically running and looking beside of Jacobs, looking beside of Bracy in the semi-final.
Well, remember
No,
Jacob was. I don't think Jacob was there
no,
last.
Akil,
Jacobs was there.
curious case,
Hmm.
Akil. When we were doing the preview the other day, why weren't you this confident in saying that Seville is
Why
actually
w-
one of the favorite to win the event? Why you just said
why
a medal, bronze medal at best?
why I wasn't confident? Because of his injury concerns. I
Okay.
understand that his injury was all the way back in May, but I was very mindful of the fact that because of the injury might have hindered his progress throughout the season, and that's why I had him for a bronze medal. And then based on the race that I saw with him and Marvin Bracy, it was as if he got off to a great start, but it was as if he was leaning towards the line. So based
I
on that, it seemed as if he was leaning towards the line, although Imam Bracy ran the same time. So because of that, I wasn't sure if we would have gotten prime focus civil going into these championships. I'm going to be very honest, and that's why I had him for the bronze. But based on what I saw in the heats today, and based on the scope of improvement that he as an athlete can deliver, and based on the fact that Fred will be in the semi-final, which means that he might have to turn it up in order to beat Fred and comfortably place in the final, then that's why I believe that he is the man to beat.
Okay.
I will only say this. And we talked about it earlier. We talk about the greatest, apart from your talent, apart from your training, the greatest thing in every sport is mental. And I have not seen Oblique Seville at the international stage showing that mental fortitude as yet that will take him through. I am a Jamaican and I want him to win. So I'm going to tell everybody, yes, I want this man to win. You understand? Him run 1986 that time PB, we say, yes, him look easy. Again, that is a eat. When you get to semifinals and finals, when the pressure is on, that is when we will know what is it that you are made of. And that's all I'm going to say and leave it at that. As a
And
Jamaican, I'm going to say, yes, I want him win. Yes, I want him medal. But the truth is, we understand what the sport is made up about. When you get to this level, so it is not just about talent alone. Do you have the mental capacity, the mental fortitude to carry it through? And I'm
and
just going to leave it at that.
And Vinny, that is why I emphasize the point that Fred Curley will be in his semifinals because I don't want us to really, you know, no, it's not that you guys are doing it, but Fred Curley being both in the heats and in the semifinals, I'm telling you, if Oblique Seville beat Fred in both the heat and the semifinals, he's going to be confident going into the final.
Really?
Sure,
Because
why not?
yes, because he beat the world champion twice.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sure.
All right.
But
All right.
before I get to you in Coach Q views, I think there's currently what 65 persons currently watching us,
Mhm.
and I don't believe there's 65 likes on the video. So come on, people, get the likes up, man. And for those who haven't subscribed as yet, it's not hard, man. Come on, just hit that subscription button ASAP. Coach Q, when I look at the different phases of that race today, um, what particularly about his phases impressed you, or what phase of his race impressed you?
You mute,
Muted.
Coach
Yeah,
Q.
mute.
Apologies. So Oblique executed better than every other competitor in that 100 meters today. Um, I know Akil said that his start wasn't good. He had one of the better reactions out of the out of the blocks. Understanding the start doesn't starting good doesn't mean that you're out fast and in front of everybody. It means the purpose of the start is to prepare you for the other aspect of the race. So for the start, you're trying to garner as much power, much momentum through using power. If you utilize speed too early, then you're going to lose speed early. All right, so his aim is just to get in a point where you can develop, build momentum, and then once you get tall and running, then you can accelerate, say, adding on top of the momentum that you already garnered. He did that flawlessly today. He went through his paces perfectly, came through comfortably, was running up tall, lifting. He, I think, has for a guy his size, can produce so much power from just one from each step that makes him so extraordinary. We're used to seeing short athletes being aggressive and fighting, but he's running like he's a boat, like very relaxed, very specific with his turnovers and stuff. So I think that in fact would have presented. I don't think as much as said that he didn't look like he was running, and that's just simply because he was executing very well. When it comes down to the shorter sprints, you don't have room for error. So the best is a matter of executing all the phases correctly and getting the timing right. And I think that is what clearly you go into the race, getting that out of the heat. And as Akil added, I won't give too much emphasis on Fred as far as him not being, giddy and looking around and stuff. I think for me and watching him at the national trials, that was that I find to be nervousness probably. When I find when he does that, it's almost like there's a slight lack of confidence. I might be kind of trying to play it off type of vibe. What you saw today is a man that is at the World Championships, and this is time to get serious. This is where it matters. If you notice, Oblique doesn't run too often on circuits. You don't see him at Diamond Leagues. You don't see him there. So he is being prepped for championships. All right. So he's being prepped for the World Championship. So at this point in time, it's about getting the job done. And it makes it's no use hashing about what he did a year before or what whoever did a year before. That doesn't count on the day. And right now, today, going into tomorrow, he looks the best, and him looking the best is a result that he's going forward with the best time, which is equal to his personal best, and looking like he is the person to beat. And this, in fact, would put more pressure on Curly and not so much on Oblique.
So let me ask you a question, Coach, too, because and as a coach, you will know this. Each athlete has different instructions, all right? So one coach might say, "Hey, you just go out there and qualify." Another coach might say, "Hey, I want it to look good in the heats because we're going to use the heats in order to gear us up for the final, right?" So whatever the instruction is different. But you said something specific. You said, "Well, he looked the best in the heats, like he wants to win the world championship, like he's at a championship." But can we say that can be like a little fool's goal because probably he's looking the best because everybody else don't really care, they just want to qualify? Can that be a little bit of fool's goal for the Jamaicans who say, "Well, 986, yes"? Can that be that?
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. But personally, and thinking about his handlers,
Yeah,
that's not Glenn Mills anymore.
exactly.
And personally, Glenn Mills always preach maturity. So I think the instruction, probably the instruction for Curly was, listen, just qualify, don't try to win, just get through, run 60 meters and lock it off. Right? I've done that with my athletes. I said, listen, just go out there, run 40, get out the blocks, feel good, and then just stay in a qualifying position. That could be the same instruction given to Oblique, and it just turns out that I'm sure he was probably it didn't seem that surprised at the time. As I said, only the athlete and the coach would know what's been happening behind doors and to know what they're capable of.
He
I don't think it's much of mind games. What it does, it puts you in a strong mental position. So, knowing that I didn't run 100% and I got to equal my PB, I'm in a good place.
he actually said in an interview after the race. He said in an interview after the race that he didn't expect to run that fast. That it was all about coming today and just executing his race.
Right. And I'll always tell,
Uh,
I've heard
Hold on one
Mills himself
second,
say,
gentlemen. So
yeah,
we have a call on the line. We have an artist on the line, man. We have Major. D Major, go through, boss.
Blessings, friends and family. Well, I go on, big up to the whole panelists, big up to the streamers, the listeners, and the viewers. Yeah,
you
man.
got Major.
And the fellow track enthusiasts like myself. Guys, 365 days and we still not get a phone stand, brother.
Now work on it, boss. Now work on it.
Respect, man. So what would I know from the 100 meter, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Coach Q, what I go on, you know, send me already, but everybody know that.
It's cool, man. Respect, man. Respect.
But in all seriousness now, the 100 meter, I do believe Seville, looks the best. I'm not worried. And I understand Kev's analysis and concerns. 986 is a serious time to be running in the heats. I can't even recall Essien Paul doing that. However, I trust. I'm not scoring Seville alone. I'm scoring also his coach. I trust that this coach gave him, necessary instructions and has prepared him. We got concerned just before the national trials here that he picked up an injury, but we were scoring the coach as well, and we saw that he has more in the tank. If you were watching closely, the last 30 meters was like cruise control, So I was really impressed. I personally didn't expect that performance so early as well, but I'm pleased with what I'm seeing from this kid.
True.
Yeah.
Well, so this is what I'll say, right? And again, the fastest time this year has been 983 by Zarnes Hughes, right? And this will always be my concern, right? That has been the fastest time for the whole year, 983 by Zarnes Hughes, not too long ago, right? So I'm saying a man who was injured, now back in training full time, to come run 986 in the heats, it is giving me a lot of cause for concern because again, and Coach Q can tell you, a lot of times people might look easy, but they're not really easy. But they give the illusion that it was an easy race. I'm not saying that is civil situation, but I'm saying, when we talk about, nobody cruises 986 unless you're like a Usain Bolt or something, I don't think nobody really cruise a 986. So you might be relaxed while running fast or running hard, but to say, hey, he's cruising 986, I think we're setting up ourselves for a slight disappointment. Jamaican people,
Well,
be careful.
I don't
But
think
I don't think
anybody
Honorable.
here mentioned
Yes,
or said it along the ways of him being cruising
cruising.
986.
I
What
never
we
said
said
that.
that he, as he eased through the line, because in order to run 9-8 anything, you have to run some part of the race from running good, right? So it's not oh yeah man, I can just
Ex-
jog out the blocks and then run
except Bolt,
9-8.
except Bolt.
Even Bolt, at some point, if it's even 30 meters, you're going to run. Right? You might cruise a little longer while them ease up at 30 meter, but might ease up at 40 meter. 40 meters
It
or
is
50
about
meters from behind.
60.
Yeah, but notwithstanding, it is
Uh,
you still need to run some
true,
aspect of the race.
true,
Um,
true,
and
true.
and the question about him in terms of injury and stuff or whatever. Well, I think that him running that fast is clear indication that he is healthy. So
I love. Coach Q, repeat that for me one more time. Him running that fast, what?
is a
Indicate
good
he's healthy.
indicator of him being healthy.
All right, Jamaican people, I want no excuses. Come tomorrow and whenever the final will go. Oblique
And
Seville is 100% healthy according to Coach Q. What he's seen with his eyes.
and he
No
has no tape.
excuses.
And he has
All
no
right,
Yeah.
so
tape on his hamstring.
Yeah,
yeah.
he's
All right,
healthy
so Major still up on it. So
and
Major, what do you think about the other Jamaicans as well?
Uh, what's his name? Watson. I think Watson. He looked a bit caught in the moment, but understandably, new to this stage, this level, very new to this level and stuff. So I think I'm hoping that he gets them jitters out and is ready, to really go back a 9-9-1 for the semifinals at least, because he'll have to run from the semis tomorrow to make it to the final. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And also, what's his name?
Rhyme Ford.
Robert Ford. Yeah, Ford. Robertson was his name in high school at GSC.
right, yeah.
But I like what I saw from him, especially the first, the first phase, the first 30. He can put a lot of people under pressure if he repeats that tomorrow in the semifinals and is able to finish even better. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. I am starting to think 4x1, but we're not going to talk about that yet. Hold on, chime in from what one earlier. I wasn't hearing the feed so well over the phone, but I think I get the gist of what Kems was saying and Coach Q. But yeah, Kems, it's fear, your analysis is fear based on the running so early, and it can be concerned, but this kid has been showing the promise over the time, and then as me say, have those scores coach as well. So it's not impossible for him to come out tomorrow and surprise the world. However, this is why the races are run. You know what I'm saying? So he will have to produce probably what he did today in the semis tomorrow, and then again in the final, or better in the final, if we want the top spot on the podium. But I believe he can do it. And if you watch his body language over the last couple of years, was his baptism, for want of better words.
True.
Last year he just missed the podium. He would have gained very valuable experience from that, and you could have seen body language. They were out there long, right? 2 false starts before they went, and the youth still execute brilliantly. That is telling
Exactly.
me a
And
lot.
I give him so much
That
credit for
is
that.
telling me a lot too.
Exactly.
It's just you run 986 and go and we turn leader, watching all of the variables. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Because
There's always some respect for the input, man. I know that you're a avid fan of the show itself, man. And once it's
Love
track and
these,
field,
man.
we know
Yes,
that,
man. I'm
man.
going the wonderful work still and thing. Yeah.
Respect, man. I
And
remember I
we
was,
can jump up and get games of phone stand.
I remember I still want to dub to,
Blessings everyone. Yeah.
All right.
Mad,
Bless
mad,
up,
mad.
bless up, yeah, bless up.
because
So
even wait,
go ahead,
I
go
want
ahead,
yeah.
go ahead.
Because even when I saw all of the when I saw all of the the pre-race shenanigans and all those stuff, right? I condition my mind to say, okay, if Oblique lose to Fred Curley in the Heats, that's all right. The most important thing is that he made it to the semifinal. That was what I was conditioning in my mind as a fan, So when I saw him coming out and run 986, I think that really said to me that, yo, yeah, man, he's a man to beat.
Okay, so Akil, so you said something. So I want to ask
Mm-hmm.
you about this. So it seems like you're putting a lot of stock in Oblique beating Curly in a heat. It seems like you're putting a lot of stock in that. Why?
No, let me clarify. It's not necessarily putting a lot of stock on him beating Fred Curley,
Mm-hmm.
right? What I'm trying to say is that the mental, we talk about this being a mental game, right? We
Okay.
talk about this being, his confidence and so forth,
Okay.
right? So the thing about is that, right? Him beating Fred Curley in the heats, right? That is not what I'm really looking at. What I'm looking at, I'm just looking at the fact that, okay, he yes, he beat Fred Curley in the heats, but it's a fact that he's gonna face Fred Curley again in the semifinals. And that's why I believe that, and it's not only that as well. If you compare his race and to Fred Curley's race, even if Fred Curley was cruising at about 60 meters or so, the scope of improvement or the level that you can say, okay, Fred, when Fred turn it up, he might go turn it up, right? The difference versus Oblique, right? Because Oblique did slow it down after about 70, 80 meters or so, right?
Okay.
If
By your eyes,
my
yep.
my eyes.
Yep.
I would say
If both
70 is a stretch. So, I'd say about 85, 90
Yeah,
thereabout.
about 85, yeah, 85 so, right? If when you look at both of them, if you look at it, if both of them were to run full speed, right? Full speed, late all down on the line, I still would have Oblique winning over Fred.
Okay. Levon, is it possible,
Mhm.
if you have any time, is it possible we can see the competition that Mr. Let me talk about the competition that the future 100-meter world champion will be facing?
Or the
We'll soon get there, man.
Okay,
okay,
okay, okay.
Before we get there, what you guys thought about Zarnil use?
comfortable.
Was
We
he?
have to
So,
do.
so
He
I think he
was.
was comfortable, but I think for me, again, the start is concerning. Is the heats. So when them can come back and run down people and so. But I think, in a semi-final, I haven't really looked at the semi-final, but in a semi-final, a final, starting sleeping in the blocks will cost you. It will cost you and it will cost you big, right? And again, but Zarnell, obviously, when we made the predictions the other night, Zarnell was my winner. That was somebody who I bet real money on, to win the 100-meter. And again, I worry about two things: his start and if he has a brain fart, right? And the brain fart is if he go fast start, right? So if he try to start too fast or if he start too slow, right? So I'm hoping that the best start that he can get is in that finals because I believe if he gets up with the field, again, this is a man who has the world lead in the 100 meters, 983. No one has run that. And I believe even in that race, he had a slow start and obviously, the acceleration and the top end, etc., brought him through. I think he can get it down to 981, 980. I think that can be a winning time, obviously, dependent on the conditions and wind and all that kind of stuff, because it was raining a little bit earlier. But Zarnell, I think, looks comfortable, looks smooth, but again, the starting of the race, that first 10, 15, 20 meters, obviously we see what, you can talk about other person, but the Christian Colemans and them of the world who gets that blistering start, Zarnell can't afford to be sleeping in the blocks. Again, another Glenn Mills prodigy, a man that has been with Glenn Mills for a very long time, a man that Glenn Mills has spoke highly about, and a man that has spoke highly about Glenn Mills as well. So I guess they have a great relationship over there. Obviously, he went to Kingston College as well. So I like Zarnell a little bit. I want him to win, for my benefit and for his, but we'll see how that goes. But I think, once he works on that start, I don't know, Coach Q probably can talk more about, how Because Coach Q, I don't know if a lot of y'all know, but I can tell you about Coach Q. Quick starter. Probably one of the fastest starters I've ever seen in my entire life. Quick out the blocks. So I don't know if Coach Q can give any tips here, on the podcast or anything, but I think if Zarnell gets up with the field, I think it's going to be hard to beat that young man.
Zanel obviously praised for having the greatest tapping speed out of all the guys that line up today for the 100 meters. His tapping speed is immaculate. All right, he is once he gets going, he goes. Um, his start was his reaction time wasn't bad, but clearly there was an issue in terms of him executing that drive phase or lack thereof. I'm sure that's something that I've seen them in practice. And means will be driving home points. It's just an opportunity to say, all right, listen, don't think too much of this. At the championships, it's not where you want to be coaching. Because you don't want them to be overloaded mental capacity. As I've always, my philosophy is the brain will slow down the body in order to think and process. All right, so in order for the muscles, our muscle memory, the nervous system fire faster than you can think. So you don't want to be in a position where you go there thinking of doing these things. So there won't be too much emphasis on it. But I'm pretty sure him being, with his years of experience will understand and know that hey, listen, where the error was and we need to, kind of fix and stuff. I think at the British Championships, he had a similar run in the semis, running from way back, came through just making it in time on the line. And then in the finals, he provided, he wasn't say got a blistering start, but got a much better start that positioned him way better for a better executed race. The 983 wasn't that he was left, I wouldn't say left in the blocks, but he was never up in front from the start. That's not where he runs from. And even in that interview, he said the coach has always told him, trust the execution, just trust the execution. So you don't want to rush the phases because the moment you panic, then you're going to skip steps, and then that's going to affect how great his tapping speed will be. All right, so rather than tapping out at, for example, at 110 miles per hour, you rush a phase or skip a step, then you end up at like 85, 90, and that will definitely be a disadvantage to where you finish, come the finals. Seeing in the semifinals, he has a true test of that because he had Raheem that he had to literally run back down, and he has Coleman, which is one of the best starters out there right now. So that's more than enough time, more than enough opportunity that you need to get it right.
All right, so I'm going to move over to the semifinals now. So let me get that up quickly. Okay. All right. So in the first semi-final, are you guys seeing it clearly?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Is it clear enough?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So first and foremost, Akil, one conquest tell them because they tell you from lane 1 to 8 them I use. You realize lane 2 to lane 9?
No, man, I'm talking about that. The IWF rules is
But let's
from
move
lane.
on.
It was showing 8
In lane
lanes.
2, uh, okay. But
Mm-hmm.
in the first semi-final, in which, as you know, is the fastest one and the fastest two losers afterwards. So lane 2 you have Dominic Kopech from
Him gone.
Poland. You have Marcel Jacobs from Italy.
Him
You
gone.
have Lyles from USA in lane 4. You have Omaniala from Kenya in lane 5. You have Sani Brown from Japan in lane 6. Eugene Amadadze from Great Britain in lane 7. You have Ron Watts in lane 8. And you have Itsikiri from Nigeria in lane 9. Is it top two clear cut, guys?
Personally, I say I say Lyles and Omanyala.
Hmm.
Will be, and that's based on the execution of the first round. I think Watson will definitely need to um, have a revenge pull on Sonny Brown to kind of earn that spot. The
Hmm.
next, possibly position himself for the next two. I would love to see him get, within the top two, but I think, just based on form shown in the heat, I think Lyles and Omanyala looks like it. I wouldn't say I wasn't particularly impressed with Noah's run. I
Yeah, I
think
wasn't impressed
kind of
either.
kind of left a little bit too late, and if you're not that sharp, then a sharp runner like Ron Watson uh, uh, displayed at the national championships will definitely, have one over you. Well, I'm happy he didn't get lane one again. He has
Hmm.
some company in lane eight as two on either side. That I think, as you said, as D Major said, getting off the cobwebs or the anxiety. This is his first World Championships. I'm pretty sure he'd love to go all the way through. But I want to give it to Lyles and Omanyala for the first two, and Watson for the third spot. Hopefully, getting an automatic qualifying.
Um, so
Aki
I kind
or
of
Kim, so
echo.
whichever one.
I kind of echo some of the same sentiments that Coach Q was saying, especially what I seen. Obviously these two were in the same heat, and Noah won, and you know Omanyala, he was second. I think these two, barring any mishaps, false start or anything like that, I think these two, will go through. Unfortunately, I'm here looking at Jacobs, and he's just hasn't looked right for about 2 years now. You know, just hasn't looked right after he won that gold medal. Injury after injury, not fit. So I think it's the end of the road for him. I'm looking at a Ron Watson, and what you I didn't get to see his heat live, but I watched it after, and based on what you guys say, him tightening up and stuff. I think if he wants any opportunity at all in order to qualify for this final, yeah, it's just one of those things where you just have to just put it all out there and try and get yourself in. Um, Obviously, I think Sam Brown. mm, I like Sam Brown too. For some reason I like Sam Brown. I always like these Japanese athletes. So I like. I think he can make some noise today. So I think that would be my four. Even the guy from Great Britain too.
Yeah,
Can be
that's
in.
it.
Yeah, he can be in the mix as well. But my top two I think is clear. I think those two will go through into the final, and then we'll wait for the other times.
Um, and this is not it's not a case where I don't like Laz because that's not true. I have great respect for Noah Laz, but I watched that heat. Am I the only one who thought that Noah Laz literally ran that heat?
No,
Yeah,
I expressed the same. That's why I say I
Yeah,
didn't.
he
I
ran
didn't.
that.
He didn't
He
no,
look
ran
sharp.
that heat.
He
Yeah,
no,
looked
no,
like it looks
no.
similar to when the finals he ran at the US Trust.
yeah, at the US trials.
So the
Uh,
only so the only reason why I think you're saying that he ran was because you see his arms swinging and he wasn't like this. If he was like this, you'd have probably say he wasn't running. But again, I believe that there is an illusion that will believe that okay, if somebody is going like this, that means they're running. I don't think he was running. He ran 9.9, what
5.
9.6? Yeah, I don't think he was running
The,
high.
the problem is, is that when you watch Noah throughout the circuit, that's literally how Noah looks when he's running. So
Okay.
it was like it was a case where in Noah's mind he had to win the heat. So it wasn't a case where he was relaxed. It was more along the lines of I need to win the heat. So because of that, I actually have Ferdinand Ominyala to win, and I have Akeem Sonny Brown second. I have Noah Lyles third, and I have Dadsy fourth. Sorry for Watson, but he doesn't make the final for me.
So which two you have?
Omenyala and Sonny Brown.
All right, all right, boss.
Omanial and Sonny
Noah could
Brown.
come in as one of the non-automatic qualifiers, but I just don't. He never look. He never look right. He never look good. As in, he didn't look like there is much scope or yeah. It doesn't look like there's much scope for improvement in comparison to like Omenyalo, who yes he started to step a little bit at the end of the race. And if you look at even Hakeem Sunny Brown race, Hakeem Sunny Brown with him long legs, just a step and so forth. No man, I think Omenyala and Hakeem Sunny Brown is gonna top two for that heat.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lyles not showing the 965 shape.
Okay.
Probably
Um,
have the 1910, but they're not showing the 965 shape.
that's true. All right, in semi-final two, in lane two, you have Yanga, Yanagita from Japan. You have Ongole from Nigeria. You have Simbine from South Africa in lane four. You have Christian Coleman in lane five. Rhyme Ford in lane six.
Again,
Zarnelius in lane seven. Matadi from Liberia in lane eight. And Emmanuel Archibald in lane nine.
I think this is one of the toughest semifinals. Like,
It
you
is
would
tough.
not want
I
to
would say this
be
one.
in this one.
The one that's tough for true.
This one is going to be. We saw Coleman, true to form with an exceptional 60 meters. But we all know that last 30 for him is detrimental. Raheem Ford looked good in terms of his start today, especially for the first half of the race was awesome. We spoke about Zana at length. Simbine is one that just always knows how to get there. He has had quite a few close calls. He has oftentimes, proven his stature why he is always within the top eight at the moment. So I think for me, I'm going to go Zarnel, then Simbine, and then I'll give Coleman the third spot.
can
I
we can we can we just take a moment to, and I know Coach Q mentioned it the other night, last evening, but these 100 meters are absolutely stacked. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't make the finals, I don't think you really have anything to be ashamed of, or to be like, it is just, it's hard to pick 8 men to say, all right, these 8 men will make the finals, because I'm going to say, all right, but I can take out this one and I can put in that one. Like, it's really tough. And for this one, again, I think, from Coleman got that ban, he just never returned to the Coleman, right? I'm fine about the start, but again, does a complete 100 meters? Absolutely not. So
Yeah, I agree.
I actually think that he misses out. I just think that he misses out on this one, on the final. And I have Zarnil and Raheem Ford actually going through. And I have Simbini, coming third in this one. I believe that, after watching the season with Coleman, when one or two persons pass him start ease up, him start jump through, him start do all of that kind of stuff, right? And we see last year at the World Championships what he did or didn't do, So I don't think there's been much improvement there. So I'm going with Hughes and Ford. Obviously, they were in the same heat. They come back here again, so I have those two going through, with Simbine third place.
And I actually agree with Kems when it comes down to Christian Coleman. Like he hasn't even his starts haven't been as explosive as he was when he was in 2019. Like when Christian Coleman started the race was literally over from the start. But it's not the case this time around. I don't see him looking all that impressive. So I actually don't have him making the final. So I have Hughes to win it. Simbine to finish second, and I have Raheem Ford to finish third. I want to make a point on Raheem Ford. I've had the opportunity to watch Raheem Ford throughout the season. So I watched him when he ran at the Atlanta City Games, when he did run on the synthetic track on the
Mm-hmm.
road. I watched him, and I've watched him at a couple of the USA, the America Track League meets and so forth, and and US and Jamaica championships as well. And what I admire about him is that he knows how to run rounds well.
Okay.
He knows how to run rounds well. If you look at his run management, he actually gradually increases speed throughout the rounds, and because of that, I think that, and given that he's such a good starter, I think he's going to, I think he's, I think he's going to be caught by Zarnell Hughes and Simbine, but I think it's a race where it's probably going to be very tight towards the line, and that's why I would give Raheem for the third spot.
Okay. Interesting. Everybody just competing for second place because we already know who the world champion is.
Okay.
Pull him up.
Oh,
All right, so in semifinal three, we have Brendan Radney from Canada, Ron Browning from Australia, Fred Curley from USA, Rafael Bourgeot from Netherlands, Etsina Tebogo from Botswana, Oblique Seville from Jamaica, Reese Prescott, and Henrik Larsson. Oh, we see this one going.
Top three very clear to me. Can I go first because I soon have to leave?
Sure.
Top three very clear to me.
Sure.
Oblique, Fred, and Tobago. Um, what I will say though is that, as I said earlier and before, I'm I'm interested to see how Fred will, not Fred, how Oblique will run in this semi-final. Not Fred, Oblique. How Oblique will run in the semi-final, because I do believe that Fred, after that first heat, Fred is going to, he might go turn it up, right? So I want to see how well Oblique is able to withstand the pressure of Fred, running much more serious, or running much faster in this one. But I have Oblique to win, I have Fred to finish second, and I have Tobago to finish third.
boy, I'm always amazed at how you define the outcome of every race around Fred.
Okay, no
And
problem.
if Fred think that, and I think, like, for example, when my athletes talk to me like that, I was like, all right, so clearly you're coming second because you have put this person on a pedestal because you're building the entire race around one person. I think I'm clear with the same three, Oblique, Curly, um, Tebogo. I think, however, should Fred not be in true Fred form, then it will be an Oblique and Tebogo for first and second, and Fred for third. Prescott can usually find a big run. Um, Tomorrow will have to be the time you find it. He would, I think, would have to better is 993. I'm not convinced of Fred being better than a 98, better than 98 shape, to really show some dominance. But I think it will be around the 990s, and I think whoever runs 98 should win that heat.
Well, it makes no sense to talk about who will win because we already know. So, so second place, in this race. Oh God, I like this Tobago guy, but I don't know if he can, muster up enough to, I think Fred Curley is, I think he was seriously hurt about, the questions reporters were asking him, about possibly losing his title. So I think he has a point to prove, but again, I just don't think that he'll win. I don't think that he'll win the championship. I don't think that he's been in any superb form. I don't think that he has been running impressive times. I don't think that he has been executing well. Right? Obviously, they can't they can't talk down the heart of a champion and all that good stuff. Right? So first place in this race will be Mr. Obvious. I digress to you guys. So Mr. Obvious will win. And then but by default, I'll put Fred Curley up there in second. But I also think Tibogo will make it to the finals. I think he'll finish third, make it to the finals. And I think, somebody from the second semifinal will also make it to the final. So which means that, unfortunately, Ron Watson might just miss out of that eight. So those are my predictions there.
Yeah,
Or
I think
Noah.
each semifinal can be kind of
Huh?
close. I think for all the semifinals, I think the top 4 or 5 will be somewhat close.
Yeah,
Close.
it's going to
Yeah, it's going to be a tight, going to be tight finish because as I said, everybody's seasons best is around in the same
Same
ballpark.
region.
Yeah, so um, either way, yes, you're right. As Del says, he can't jump this time around at all because you have a fast finisher like Tibogo. The issue with a lot of athletes, especially like the good starters and they get out and they feel comfortable, is that they're not mindful often of the fast finishers. Tebogo is one of the fast finishers because I think he had one of the fastest splits in history over the 200 that he ran the other day when he ran the 19.5. So it's a very peculiar running form, but clearly somebody that can carry speed and carry speed for a long while. It just might if it misses him, it's a matter of who gets to top speed faster that misses him, and that's the
Mhm.
essence of the 100 meters. Who gets to top speed faster, then who holds it well. So you have to complete the first before the second one is even effective.
Mhm. May I ask who you think is the sleeper? Uh, who
The
you think would be the
sleeper,
sleeper? Yeah, in throughout all the heats.
um, out of all the heats, the sleeper, I don't think any of them will be deemed as sleeper because they are the potential. But I think the sleeper is on.
Okay.
I think the sleeper is on.
The two. Mm-hmm. Continue.
Yeah, because is a he outsider the looking around business. I like him and his energy. For especially for the 100 meters, and he has full of pride. And somebody that enjoys doing whatever they're doing are always the most dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hard to beat a man that loves to run fast.
When I was talking about sleeper, still, I was talking about in terms of somebody who could sneak into the final.
Oh, sneak
Um.
into the final. No,
Yeah.
I mean to win.
Yeah. Not to
Sonny,
To
win.
win
bro.
the final.
Sonny Brown.
Yeah,
Sonny
Sani
Brown
can
for you.
sneak in.
Okay.
To sneak in Sani, and for me, a sneak in would be Watson.
So an example for me in terms of sleepers would be that's a guy from Great Britain and Rowan Browning from Australia.
My only issue with that is there was that personal best that he ran in the first one.
No man, it wasn't a personal best
Okay.
man.
But it's just a matter of wit. And if he's in good strength and good spirit from that run, then just carry that vibe, go straight to
Hmm.
think less and run more, and he will be fine.
And I think for Rowan Browning, the Australian, it really depends on how fast the race is. Because if it's like
If
a
we get
10-second
slow
race,
semi, yeah,
yeah, him
that's
can sneak in.
those are like I call those the Kim Collins races. So if you're running anything in the 10 or region, Kim is going to be there.
Yep.
Mhm.
I don't know. We can't see left on screen right now, so I don't know. I go
Yeah.
on.
So before we close off and all of that, right? What can we look forward to? Does Jamaica medal count starts tomorrow?
Of course.
Yeah, yeah. I know to tell him no, Kim.
Well, according to these gentlemen here, and
No, it's
According
according
to
to these
you,
gentlemen. No,
well, I want to say, what the
he's
man to
asking
be.
you a question. He's
Oh, me?
asking you a
Oh,
question.
asking me? Absolutely not. Absolutely
Okay.
not.
so
Um,
no medals for Jamaica too.
no medals. I don't think. You know. No medals for Jamaica tomorrow. Obviously, the final event will be the 100 meters. I think, at best, I think Oblique Seville gets the fourth spot, almost a medal. So if you want to talk about almost medaling, then that would be Oblique Seville. So I don't think Jamaica medal count starts tomorrow because hey, again, I think it's going to be very tight. And I see Akil talk about confidence and so. I guarantee you, Akil, tomorrow evening, all 8 athletes nervous, 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 nervous. Again, you line up, you're just nervous, right? I just think it's part for the course. But I don't think, and again, this is not me hating on Civil. I think he's a nice young man. I like him, humble. But when I just look on the talent there, when I look on the champions there, I just have to say you just barely miss out. As I tell you before, I gave you my top three. I think it was two nights ago. And just for those, the newcomers who haven't heard the greatness, I will go through it once more. So first place, Zarnell Hughes. Second place, Fred Curley. Third place, Noah Lyles. And I do reserve my right to change that pick because again,
After the
with more
semifinal.
with more information,
My opinion is
change.
subject to change.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be the person who's going to be
Alright,
steadfast
pass.
on being wrong. If I see someone different, I might say, well, I might have to change up a little bit. But for right now,
Bro, you know what, bro?
So you've just qualified yourself to be small boys and not big boys. Big boys, when they say, how would they mean?
Bro, you know what? You see the picks that we make from the other day. I want us to stick by them.
Fair enough.
True.
Yeah.
mm,
I'm
mm,
happy. I'm happy to be wrong
no, it's
because I
no,
can't
so
stick by my.
no, boss. It's
I
hard to
can't
stick.
stick.
It's
Can't
it's
stick by
hard.
my
It's
picks
hard to stick.
earlier.
It's hard to stick by them because again, something can change, boss. I can see Fred Curley come out with a bunch of tape around him hamstring, and so then bless you. Then we see that I have to change up the thing a little bit. Again, right now, after the heats, everything remains the same. After the semifinals tomorrow, I might have to change this a little bit, but
So you clearly don't buy lotto
huh?
because you clearly don't buy lotto because you would have waited until the draw when I say you lose the first two number, then they say no, I need a new ticket and try to switch out the number. It
No,
don't work. So.
only
Whatever hold firm, because all of us made the decisions, our decisions on the same basis or the same premise without
this is
seeing anything. I would say this is what we'd like to see.
all right. So this is the decision that will not change.
All right.
Jamaica medal count won't start tomorrow. That not
Oh,
change.
that not change.
That not
I
change.
would say irrespective, at least you win that.
It won't start tomorrow at all.
I know
I
what
think
is happening tomorrow as well. No Lyles will not be medaling.
Huh?
No
You-
Lyles
you-
will not medal in that 100 meter.
okay. Okay.
But
We'll
also tomorrow there will be the long jump final for women as well.
we have anybody in that?
We,
I was going to.
as in
I
US
was
of
going to
A.
add that
USA US
we
has a
have
couple
Akil
Well,
there.
athletes.
of course, USA. I know
Yes,
who I
so
know who Jamaica
you
have.
guys you guys have Jasmine Moore and Tara Davis Woodall.
Oh well, she'll
Jamaica's
win.
Akila Smith.
While we have, yeah, we have Akilas.
Okay. I
So
think
gentlemen, Akila Smith the medal tomorrow. No,
I
no,
have
no,
it.
me not talk. Me
She,
not
she
talk
would
about
have
this.
she would have to find back that 7 meter jump. Yeah,
Not
she
necessarily.
have to find that 7 meter jump. I think
Mm,
the jumpers out there are highly competitive. Yeah, like we know Tara, we know the US do is itself I guess always competing among themselves. Either way, so it's going to be a tough thing. If the thing with the jumps, you just need one. You just need
True.
one. So if she can find one, and then just pull him, then she should be fine. but it's finding the way.
If you follow Triple LC, Jamaica have about 30 medals because everybody is going to do it. I'm not sorry to work Triple LC. I'm sorry,
I
but Akila or Smith, no. Again,
I
you know, I watched the little highlights and so, and obviously Woodall is just the best. I think she's going to win. That will be another gold medal for the United States. Going by that time we're supposed to have around 4 or 5 gold medals. I lose check because the gold medals are coming in so quickly. However, I think Smith grazes fourth, probably fifth place, which I think is a step in the right direction. Listen, I think, as Jamaicans, I think, we have to temper our expectations just a little bit and be okay with not
Say
being a.
you guys. Stop saying we.
Huh?
oh
You know,
U.S. citizen.
all right, so what Triple S is saying, Kems, you're too bad man. If ball never drop, you wouldn't get for dance today. And in quoting the great Coach Q, shoulda, coulda, woulda, but you never. And the Americans are the world record holder with a nice juicy gold medal around their neck. I am sorry.
I actually so I have Jamaica getting 2 medals tomorrow. So I have them winning gold in the men's 100 meters, and I have them getting bronze for the women's long jump. Um, why I disagree in terms of coach Q in terms of the 7 meters. I don't know. I don't see where these jumpers are going. I don't think a lot of the jumpers are going to jump 7 meters. I could. It's a type of field.
No, I said she will have to jump
Oh,
7 meters
it
because
looks like
6 9s are going to be permanent tomorrow.
not necessarily. I think I could see a 6'9" winning it. I could see a 6'9" winning it. Tara Woodhouse Hall, clear. Tara Woodhouse Hall is a favorite. Um, I also will have Brume. Brume will be in there because Brume is a consistent medalist. She
From
medaled in.
Nigeria, right?
From Nigeria. She
Yes, my
medaled in
bro. Yeah,
Tokyo.
she's very consistent.
It's not Brume. It's Broom actually. Broom. Broom. She medaled in Tokyo and she medaled again in Oregon. So I actually think that Broom, Tara Woodhouse will be fighting out for that gold and silver, and I think Akila Smith will get that bronze medal.
She don't have
Um,
nobody. So hold on, Akil. So Akil Smith, she have nobody to fight with for the bronze.
no
The
man,
bronze
she
is
has
secure for
no
her.
no 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 no. She
Well,
has
well, tell us
she
about
has
the people who
she
compete
has
in it.
Lapacino. She has Lapacino from Italy. She has
Okay.
Jasmine Moore, who she has been battling fiercely throughout the NCAA season.
Okay.
Right?
Voleta.
Yeah, yeah.
Voleta.
Julieta. I don't remember. I don't know if it pronounced her name, but she's from Serbia, right?
Valletta. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So it's not as if it's okay. It's not a case where
Yeah, she met
oh
her man. Voleta is from Serbia.
yeah. It's not a case where the bronze medal is just put down securely for her. As I said before, Akila Smith, she is a competitor, right? And she has shown throughout the season that even when everybody was saying Jasmine Moore, Jasmine Moore, Jasmine Moore, oh Jasmine Moore is unbeaten throughout the year, Jasmine Moore hasn't lost in how many years in the long jump, she still manages to come and beat Jasmine Moore at the NCAA's. So she's not a woman who is afraid of competition. And even today, on her final jump, she comes out and she jumps 678. So I believe that given her history of being a competitor, I believe that she's going to get that bronze medal tomorrow.
All right, so as the current stand, right? As I mentioned, Tara is still in favorite. Then they have Voleta. Then they have Lapicino. Then they have Koala. Then they have Akila's fifth favorite. Then they have Broom. Then Jasmine Moore.
Yeah, Smith is ranked exactly where she should be, fifth, sixth around that area. And I
I
mean,
think of
again,
what we have like 6 minutes before we close off the show, so you can get in your thoughts, guys.
uh,
Again, we'll just start it up again. without disappointment, the championship started and it's off the bar. We've witnessed a few finals today. Unfortunately, drama with Jamaica as usual. Um, we see we have three men matriculating to the semifinals for the 100 meters tomorrow, and looking forward to those finals. We have Hibbert, who is a favorite, going forward to the finals for the triple jump. We have Akilia, who is going forward to the finals in the long jump. So as a country, I think we're in good standings and moving forward. In order to even gain a medal, you have to make it to the next round. And so far, these athletes have, successfully managed their way there. The journey still continues. But I'm excited for that. Performances so far, I am Crozer, even with two, I don't want to say that all like a possible, but two blood clots in his calves. Still managed to pull off a big win with the championship record. That is a worry, and it puts into question where, as Adrian would say, Crows are still managed to come to the championships with suffering from pain caused by these blood clots, and still show up, perform, won his gold medal, defending title, and moving forward. So big kudos to him. Unfortunately, I think our Jamaica didn't manage to get the mark in the finals. Not sure what happened, but he got to the biggest stage, made it to the finals, but unfortunately lost the mark. But all prep and season for tomorrow. Tomorrow is where one of the prime events, the most talked about event, would be on show tomorrow, and then we'll have the starting of the next most talked about event tomorrow as well. So excited and looking forward to that.
So, so for the people who wake up early, I just want you to know, for the lovely Jamaicans, because Jamaicans, I want you guys to know that, it would behoove you to get up and watch the heats early, because again, nothing is guaranteed, as Coach Q said. So if you want to see representation, my advice would be to start watching the heats, right? So the 400 meters we're running at 2:35 a.m. Jamaica time, tomorrow morning, right?
No,
So
325.
huh?
325.
3:25.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 9:35 local time for the women. So
Oh, woman. Oh, yeah.
yeah,
The woman,
yeah,
235. Yeah.
So the women are around 2:35. So the Candice McLeods of the world, come out and watch them early, because nothing is guaranteed. And then we take it from there. But all in all, I'm really proud, of, as Kioshku say, Krauser. Again, two blood clots, absolutely no excuses. Just come out and
Why are you cursing on the show?
just come out and execute, right? He did what he wanted to do. I think he threw like 20.6 something to those qualifiers go through, and then he left with a championship record, almost broke the world record as well. So who to tell what he would have done? Healthy, fully healthy, and so obviously big shout out again to the United States 4x4 mixed relay team breaking the world record. As world records are not easily broken. They are meant to be broken, but you have to work for them. And the strategy that they use, well executed, and I couldn't be any prouder of the United States. Well tried, Jamaica. I didn't have you guys making it to the finals, and unfortunately, you guys didn't make it. But there's still a lot more to come. As Coach Q said, the shot put guy just never registered through. Again, just making it to the final is a huge thing. No one really had him down, penciled him down. He made the final actually on his last throw. All right. So again, not because you don't win a medal mean you can't leave, feeling proud. Feeling proud, and then you have something to build on, something to work on, moving forward. Lots of events tomorrow. 400 women, men,
110
hurdles,
hurdles, yeah.
110
So
hurdles.
here what I'm going to do before we close off, because I see a few people in the comment section asking for the 100-meter start list. So I'm just going to put up those for them. Let me get that
The
quickly.
women, the men.
No, women.
The woman.
All right, so this will be the start list for the first heat. Julian Alfred in lane 4 right there, and there need to expect those two to make it through.
And Gina Bass.
E2. In E2, you have Dean Asher Smith and Brittany Brown. You expect those two to go through as well. In E3, here you have Saboda, Ahore, Tamari Davis, and all those lovely people. You need 4. Here you have Lukin Kempo, Chukomo, Michelle Ayi, and Sharika Jackson. So in E4, that's where you can expect to see Sharika.
What
And she'll be
time is
running out
that?
of lane 7.
What time is that, boss? Will it be on air at that time?
It'll be 6 o'clock in the morning.
They have it as 12:31, so that is about 6:30. That's around 6:31 Jamaica time, I think.
No, that's like 5:31.
I think it's 5:31. It's 7 hours.
Yeah, 7 hours, 5:31.
No, man, it should be at 12:31.
No,
Not
our time.
5:31. It'll be 6:31, man.
Oh, 6:31 your time.
Jamaica
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on. No, I think it's 5:31.
Okay.
It's 5.
It's
Yeah,
5:31.
because
Reason
of the
being,
7 hours.
the eat starts at 5:10.
It's 5:31.
Yeah, 5:31.
Yeah.
So you got 7 hours behind. Okay.
All right, so
So
that
show
will
me.
be eat. So that's eat 4. Eat 5. You have Natasha Morrison, Shakir Richardson, Lancy Scott. There's love people.
Hey,
I love we're celebrating for Natasha. That's good.
I eat it in
Come on.
hey,
eat
Natasha in a
6.
lot.
You see
Natasha in a
Shasha Lee
lot of trouble.
Forbes. You see Shasha Lee Forbes and Talu and those people. I think Shasha Lee can make it out of this one.
Come on, she can make it.
All right, and in the final eat, which is eat 7, that's where you'll see SFP, Kabunji, Bingham.
Look at that.
So
No competition. Wow. I wonder if
you had
these
to,
seats
didn't
were
you?
handpicked. All these seats chosen
You had
Coach
to, didn't you?
They're random.
They're
So
random.
the most they do, the first thing they do is separate the countries. They separate the countries and then you just pull them around.
Okay.
And it's even though it's random though, I think the rankings also play a part. So I guess some
Yeah, you
some
put the ideally you put the favorites in heats.
separate heats.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you try. The aim is to ensure that the best matriculate.
Okay. Shelly look like she, has
All right.
said,
So just for the sake of comparison, so which heat thing there?
Shelly, it is it's not
Natasha,
bad,
Shakiri, next fastest person to Shakiri, only ran 10.98 this season. Everybody else is 11.1s and 11.2s. So I don't know what's it cry about Shelly's heat being
the next person to Shelly only ran probably 11.4 this
10.9.
season.
No.
10.96. So and we know somebody already. And we know what she might get Kambunji.
Kambunji.
Kambunji on 11.05. 11.05. But that's what I'm saying. You are just right now just take off Jamaica shit because you're gonna hate to pull up on you.
What I would say is that there's no need for Miss Richardson to run 10.7 tomorrow. But I have
She
a feeling
will
that
run
she will.
10-7.
So
She will run 10.7
there is
tomorrow.
no need for Richardson to run 7, but there's a lot of need for Oblique Seville to run 9.8. You see, this is the bias. This is the bias rhetoric I talk about.
But you are. No. When it comes down to bias,
Oblique had Fred Curley.
When it comes down to bias,
Oblique had Fred Curley,
don't
so
talk
it was
about
more.
models.
You're naturally
Coach Q.
biased to the US,
Coach
so
Q,
I don't
top
understand.
3.
And
goes through.
Oblique.
Top three goes through. Top three. There was literally no reason for run 986.
No,
So
but
I
Oblique said no, but Oblique said
as
that he never
Oblique said, he just
expected.
went to executed a good race, and that was the result.
well,
Nobody
Shakari,
goes with a predetermined. Nobody usually goes with a predetermined. This time is what I'm going to run.
well,
I run
Shakari
fast or
will
whatever.
Shakari will execute a great race and probably
Well,
if a
well,
10-6, a 10-6.
I recommend you that you keep your conversations on behalf of Shakari and not on behalf of yourselves.
Oh god.
Yes, sir. But you guys can have your final take before we just close it off until tomorrow. I believe we'll come on around 11 a.m. if that's good with you guys tomorrow.
Okay.
Because the men's final run at 12:10 p.m. and that's the final event.
12:10 p.m.
Yep.
Hey,
I believe that's what I
early?
saw just now.
So
Early?
early? No, what?
You can check it and confirm.
Yeah. No, boss here at
What time
2:10.
are you seeing?
210.
2:10 is the time that you're seeing?
Yeah.
Hold
No, I
on.
lie. At 12:10 for you. 12:10. Yeah, 12:10.
It's
12:10
early.
your time,
Oh well.
1:10 my time.
Yeah, because I know some heads that now fool me.
Yeah. Well, listen, I will. I don't know if Coach Q or Aki will want come on after the final rather than before it. So you can ask them. I'll be here live and direct in some different colors because it's championship day, it's medal day, it's crowning day. So I might be Great Britain because I'm going for Zarnell. Who knows? Listen, it's going to be exciting tomorrow. So let me just go first, right? Put fun and joke aside. I'm really glad that track and field is back. Really glad that the athletes who are healthy, decide to show up and are giving us great entertainment and great quality sprinting. Tomorrow again, as I said, is going to be stacked. There's going to be a lot of cheers, going to be some cries, but I can't wait for it. I'll be up early, 2 o'clock, taking down my notes, ready to execute. What time is it, 11 a.m.?
Yeah.
Yeah, ready 11 a.m. live and direct, to go ahead and execute. So, I'll be here tomorrow, ready to go. Good luck to the Jamaicans. Good luck, Shelly, Candice McLeod, Sharika Jackson, etc., etc.
All right, we don't need it. We don't need it from you.
Well, I will close with this. Because I'll keep it short because I never get to really comment on the medley relay situation. All I will say is that all the buck stops on J3. I don't want to hear anything about people don't want to participate, people don't want this and that before the something and so forth. You have alternate athletes who could have been on that team who could have run much faster and put the team in the final. All the buck stops on J3. And to be honest, I feel like something needs to give. I really feel like some heads need to roll because of the situation. Because it can't be that three championships now back to back. This is Jamaica's depth in the on the men's side in the 400 meters has never been at this level. We literally have four or five men running sub 45 this year. And you're telling me that we couldn't get out of a medley relay final for what? Because
But
we decided to bring this we decided to select these members, right? Who we know did their best, but their best was never going to be good enough.
So Akil, put it into context, right? I'm looking at the recently concluded CHAMPS final, 400 meter for girls. The top five, right? All the top five in that event ran faster than Natoya Gould. So fifth place was Alia Baker. She ran 52.97. Fourth place was Tony and Beckford, 52.88. Third place was Casey and Powell, 52.76. Second place was a special athlete in Onika Makanov, 52.11. And out front was Ricky and Russell, 51.26.
Someone, someone needs to be held responsible for this because it can't continue.
I feel like you partaking in selection.
I'm not partaking in no selection.
So
Look for
Akil, look at this, right? So I agree that there must be some accountability, but let us be honest. Where have they ever been accountability? If you remember, when the under 20 girls broke that record, and it wasn't ratified because they weren't tested. The same thing was said. Hey, some heads need for roll. Like this is not something that is acceptable, which was something more detrimental than a mixed relay, right?
Mhm.
And the only thing what happened is, all right, it won't happen again. We're sorry, and then move on, right? So I don't know if you have the answer. Probably Coach Q have the answer, but who is who holds the quote unquote J3 accountable? Where does the accountability come from in the J3 space?
What I will
J3
say to that,
is an independent standing association. They answer to, which is a big flaw, and I think it's because of
Mhm.
one of the recommendations as far as world athletics in terms of how the associations are formed. There must be non-profit and all of that jazz. So then there really is just up on them. I firmly believe that the government or the ministry that's in charge of sports should actually have a seat on the board, and in terms of
Mhm.
certain decisions making and hold certain things accountable. Overseeing how the selections and the elections are, the senior officials or persons that run the place. But yeah, but if we want to truly enjoy the World Championships, we have to ensure that we have to kind of not talk about the J3 as well. So
Yes,
just focus on the performance of the athletes. And as much as we can blame the selectors and stuff, I think that whole mishap came down to goals. I don't know what the expectation was, and I think inexperience from doing 400. I think her main flaw was when she got to the backstretch, being on the inside there, you want to ensure that they get out a little further so that those
exactly.
are coming in don't box it in. So it's almost, I want to say, like a rookie mistake that's made at that level, which you should not be the case from one. So I hold her accountable more than anything else, and then we can take up that other aspect at a later date.
That's all from me.
That's it for me. I shared my two pieces. I'm just looking forward to tomorrow.
Okay. So, guys, as always, pleasure having all of you here, man. Vinny was here earlier, Kims, Akil, Coach, big up as always. And to all you the guys in the comment section, big up on yourself, man. And I was trying to do it earlier, but it wasn't happening. But big up our sponsor who came on board as well, man. Let's Care Medical. Big up on yourself as always, man. Big up Shakes and the company over there, man. And remember, guys, there's at least 70 of you on the stream. And when I checked it, there's like what 49 likes, I believe. Come on, man. Let's get this up, man. And ensure that you subscribe if you haven't done so already. Until we see you tomorrow, enjoy the action overnight. Tomorrow morning, that is. Peace out. Enjoy your day.